or who inspired your passion for gender equality?
Well, I got interested in gender equality issues when I started moving into management positions in my university. And part of my job in a management position is to create the conditions for the people in the group to do the best work that they can. And I would start to notice that young men and young women had different challenges.
What do you think are the main reasons behind gender imbalance in science?
Well, I would say that the main reasons behind gender imbalance in science are, first of all, the tension between career life and home life. So a lack of gender equality at home feeds directly into a lack of gender equality at work. That's an issue that all European societies face today in different ways, in different degrees, but there's no place where women are working the same amount at home as men are, and that gives men the opportunity to do more work in the office. The relationship between gender balance at home and gender balance at work is very important to understanding this issue, and that's why it's important to engage in the creation of nurseries and daycares and after-school programs and ways of accounting for parental leave that treat men and women more fairly.
What advice would you give someone like me, a young female early career researcher?
I'd like to give you two pieces of advice. One is about the balance between work and non-work activities. We see that that really matters for the careers of women. So when you're going to choose a life partner, keep that in mind. Are you finding someone who will support you in your career ambitions? Are you finding someone who is willing to share the responsibilities that you'll have as a couple outside of the workplace? And the second piece of advice is about the nature of the group you're going into and where it's at. First of all, look at the work environment of the group you're considering joining. Is it a nurturing environment? Is it a stimulating environment? Is it an environment in which there is tolerance for also having a life outside of work? Secondly, keep in mind the cold, hard truth that relatively few institutions are getting their graduate students into academic careers. So ask your potential university where their recent graduates have gone, what kinds of jobs they've gotten.
What effective measures have you already taken to address gender imbalance?
The most important measure any organization can take to address gender balance is to find a top leadership that is engaged in the issue. If the top leadership believes that gender balance is important, that gender equality is important, that sacrificing part of the talent pool for reasons completely unrelated to the job is a mistake, then there's hope of progress in an organization. When the top leadership of an organization is not committed to this issue, it's much more difficult to achieve any kind of success. So I think that part of what I'm trying to do is to supply research-based, evidence-based argumentation suggesting that the work of gender balance improvement is the work of quality improvement, that a better gender equality situation in an organization leads to higher quality work in that organization. I'm trying to build that line of argumentation and make it available to others to use in their institutions to try to get their top leadership on board so that, that they can start to take steps and set concrete goals and implement various kinds of projects.